All right, you guys, so let me share screen. And this is our Sam Talks call, and today we're going to talk about cases. And so we'll start out with just kind of a definition of a case. Case is really an umbrella for your services. And there's a couple of important fields that I wanted to discuss with you. So the case program, I think, is one of the top fields that kind of highlights what services you're providing to your clients. A case table is actually, if I step back a second, is on several different entity types, but not all of the entity types. You can find entities or records that have cases under tables and fields. And then you'll see a case table. It's generally the very second table down below record types or entities that have a case. So families, children, birth mothers, birth fathers, foster families all have cases. Okay. And certainly right here, you can click in to the table and see all of fields that are available to you on a case. When I look at a record, I can see that case is generally defined by the case program. So this is always a drop-down field that offers one value for the records. And if you are new and you're setting up your site, or if you add a new program, you can access the case program field in order to change the values that are available in the list. And so this here will tell you what list items you have available. And then the case program field is also often used as a cover page redirect. And what that means is on your records, let me get back here. On your records, when you transition between case A and case B, the entire screen can change, and it can change to reflect data points that are important to you and your organization for that type of case. And so when the entire screen changes, that's literally this space in here and the sidebar links. You can change what options are available, because just not everything needs to be available for every program. And in aids for your team and usage of the site, you can have different links that'll represent more detailed information under the case that would be significant for a particular program. So when I jump back here again, we're here on the field property screen and look at the case types, you can see that the cover page is reflected, and only when I'm on an international case do I have a different case program. And so I'll offer fields that are related to an international program that differ from a domestic program on the international family page. You can have this cover page redirect set up on any case, on any record type that has a case. Sometimes it won't be set up. It is done on the field itself. And when it's set up, you have a cover page redirect field. This must, or yeah, you have this cover page redirect. It is a field that it'll say yes on that particular field that you have it designated for. And I believe this is available under advanced options. Right now, because this is set as the cover page redirect, I can unset it and it can be set. You can only have one field doing that. And in general, it is the case program field or case type field that you would have set up for that. Let me jump over here. I'll go back to my record. The next field that I wanted to talk about is the case stage. So this is also a drop-down list where you can set that it's really your high-level statuses for your case as the client that you're building this for would move through your program. Generally starting at inquiry or referral through a case closure. This is managed by your team. And just like the case program field, you can access the field property screen to manage that list. I don't think there's anything else that I wanted to say about that, but I will share now another option that you have for adding cases. That's done under advanced options, and there's a link for add new case. When you click on this form or the sidebar link to access the form, it's nice to have it set up designating what is the program field so that Sam will know where to direct your users. And then you can certainly have case stage here as well, or any other fields that are important to you to be entered by your team when you're adding a new case. And you're really going to add a new case when one of your clients is being served by multiple programs. When I save this, Sam's going to take me back to the cover page. And now I've got 2 cases associated here. And when a field is, when you have multiple cases, at least on this system, I'm not 100% positive this is true for every system. Sam is designating what the case program is. So as you toggle between the two, you can see the international case here that we can transition between. And the case navigation, again, it does allow you to transition between. And as I move, you can see that the screen is changing because these cover pages really are set up differently, again, based on that case program. Let's see if there's there is another field. You can see this shows case number 1 versus case number 2. When I add a new case, Sam is going to automatically set that value. However, that value can be changed. That field generally resides on the case details form, if you have that still. And it is an editable field, so I could literally change this to 10 and Sam will reflect that value. So there have been agencies that come up with their own kind of numbering structure. That is totally welcome for you to do for that field. When I go back onto the cover page, you can see that that's reflected here as well. So Sam is pulling that case number field. Sam is going to automatically add it sequentially for you, except when you merge a record. So when you merge 2 records together, if there was an additional Berry test record and it has a case, and then this is a secondary record, and we merge them together, Sam is going to add them both as case number 1 because it doesn't know which is case number 2. So if you ever see where there's a case to a record and both cases have the same number, you can change that value again by going into the case details and editing the case number field. And then, yeah, that's kind of, I'm surprised at how fast that went, but that was what I was going to talk to you about today, is really high level case information to make sure that you have a base understanding of information that's high level about what Sam sets on the case. Is there some additional other things? Not every agency is going to have a record history form on their sidebar, but these data points all exist just to kind of make this clear for you of what we're seeing, case and specifically to the case, there is some case information that Sam is setting that assists with modification history and identifying this very specific record. So that is the case ID that is set every time I add a new case to a family. Sam is going to add a new, again, sequentially, a new number. And that is not something that anybody can change. That is the unique identifier for that case. Sam is also telling us who entered the case, when it was entered, and through what form it was entered. So we often use that information to diagnose how records are being created in the site. Because sometimes if public forms are established for your organization, families or end users can actually add cases, and we may not the information may not be known without this sort of detail there. And so we'll use that to troubleshoot and check in on that information. The same is true really for the main entity record, in this case, the family, where you're getting a family ID established by Sam. It is the unique identifier for your database, the entered by, entered date, and certainly last modification dates as well. There is an active family field or an active child. I believe it's really set for any main entity type. It is a not defined field. It is a check mark, yes or no, and your team can decide how you want to determine when a record is active or not. And it may be across cases. If you have multiple cases, when one case is in your definition of active, it's set to yes for the entire record. Versus if all cases on that record are closed, maybe you're then at that point setting the active entity field, in this case, active family field, as no. But that is really something that's defined by your organization, because people have different opinions really on what they define as an active case. So some people do not include inquiries as an active case in their definition. Some people only start or define a record as being active once they've hit another spot down the road. So in your process, right? So maybe it is when a family has applied, as an example, or when a child has been accepted into your program. That is a definition that really your agency is responsible for defining for your team. With that, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Want to keep our Sam Talks kind of nice and easy, short, so that you can have a little bit more digestible pieces of information. Does anybody have any questions on that in general? Any kind of case information? Okay. Then I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording.